Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Vega, the chosen from thecryptonline.com, HipHopHeads Podcast, and all that good stuff. Boom. So, I've been wanting to start this new review series for forever. I get on it, I get off it, I keep sleeping. I got a little bit more time these days, so I'm going to try to do some weekly shit for you, alright? We'll see how it goes. So, what do I got here for you today? Is the De La Soul Anonymous Nobody review. This is a new album that's obviously out by De La Soul. It's a classic rap group from the early 90s. Made a lot of classic albums, classic hip-hop albums if you're into their genre of hip-hop. They're not like hardcore, they're more socially conscious and, a little bit on the lighter side of hip-hop, So this new album, The Anonymous Nobody, was a Kickstarter campaign. Basically, Kickstarter.com is a website where people go to fund projects that they want to make happen. So, De La Soul wanted to put out a new album. So they had people fund this album through the website, which comes through in donations from fans, family, friends, all that good stuff. So this is kind of a smart move for independent artists because you don't have to find a label. You don't have to find an indie label to invest in you. And you don't have to really necessarily invest in yourself. So, I want to make a hip-hop album. If I'm not doing the production, I got to pay for beats. I got to pay for studio time. I got to pay for mixing and mastering, the whole engineering. I got to pay for my own videos, all that stuff. But if you do it the Kickstarter way, you can fund all these different aspects of your album and make it come to life. And then once you finish that project and you put it out, you're able to get almost 100% profit back from this venture, because now when you make the CDs, because they're already paid for, every one that is sold after the Kickstarter backers is $10 into your pocket. And they say a lot of times, independent rappers, they get $10 an album, or whatever, $8 an album they put out on iTunes or whatever. Yeah, but that's digital, which, that's fine here, they're doing digital. But once again, you don't know the amount of funds that went into that independent artist actually making that album. It's not like this shit is free. I think a lot of people are under the impression like, it's fine, they're making $8 an album, that's a lot of money, if they sell 10,000, that's $80,000. Yeah, it could be $80,000, right? But what happens if they spent $50,000 into it? They invested all that money in the studio time and in your favorite rapper, your favorite underground rapper wants a Premier beat and a Pete Rock beat and a Large Professor beat. There's your $50,000 right there, right? So how much more room do you have to make some money if you're an independent artist? I mean, not that much, right? But this is a smooth move by them. Now, getting into what the music sounds like, it's a very interesting album. It has an interesting sound. It doesn't really play like a hip-hop album. It plays more like just an album, like an old funk album. It's funky. It's weird in places. It's I don't know. It's hard for me to describe this album. I think if you are a hardcore hip-hop fan, like myself, you're probably going to hate this album. It's got, good features on it. I mean, here, let's take a look. All right, I'll grab this shit real quick. You got Rock Marciano. Great feature, great rapper, but they don't utilize him like they should on this. He sounds like a robot rapping in a tin can, and that should not happen. Rock Marciano's got a great flow, great delivery. Don't mess with it. Instead, you put this robotic filter on it, and it sounds like shit. It sounds like he's fucking lost in space. I do not understand why you would do this. Maybe it's to appease the crowd that you're recording for, right? Because maybe this crowd doesn't really know Rock Marciano. They can't relate with Mark Marciano's shit because he's a street guy and his music is hard, you know? I mean, granted, if you gave Rock Marciano any minute of listening, you would realize how skilled and what a master he is at his craft. But I think for the average white person who listens to music, it probably won't feel Rock Marciano. They just think it's simple or it's dumb, you know? But whatever. You got Pete Rock on here, you know, kind of expected. You got David Byrne, who is from the Talking Heads. Great musician, one of the greatest. I love the Talking Heads. Do I want to necessarily hear him on a De La Soul album? Yeah, maybe 20 years ago. Do I want to hear him in 2016? And even more than 20 years ago. If it was 25 years ago, I'd say yes. You know, 25 years later, do I want to hear that? Nah. Not really. I mean, I still love the Talking Heads, but this is just weird. I mean, it's a decent track, but this ain't no hip-hop shit. You know, it's kind of weak. As far as that goes, you got Usher on here, right? You got Snoop Dogg on here. You got 2 Chainz on here. You got the dude from Blur, aka the Gorillaz. You got him on here, which is cool. But once again, like the reason the hip hop on those Gorillaz albums works is because it's because that's what you're expecting from them. You expect De La Soul to be on the Gorillaz album. You don't want to hear De La Soul sound like the Gorillaz. The production on this is all over the place. It ranges from whack to pretty good. There's more whack than pretty good in my opinion. And the tracks that like the David Byrne track and the other dude from Blur, you know, they're good. But once again, it's like, if I'm a hip-hop head, I'm thoroughly disappointed. That's some shit I don't really want to hear. Yeah, I could listen to it. I got to be in that mood for it. But, you know, as a whole, fuck it. You know, I'm all set. I think what De La Soul was doing with this album was catering to a Pitchfork crowd. Honestly. That's exactly what they were doing. Yeah, I look like a Pitchfork guy because I got a big beard and I'm bald and I don't have my glasses on. Now I'm a Pitchfork guy. But while I look like a Pitchfork guy, I'm a true hip-hop head through and through. You know, and actually, I fuck Pitchfork, alright? They suck. But if you're De La Soul, you love Pitchfork because that's the type of whack people they want listening to their music. And that's fine. But that is like what this album is catering to. I mean, you heard the roster, you know. These guys are looking to get a perfect 10 on Pitchfork and call it a day. Because, you know, the source means nothing anymore. Any of that crap means nothing. So I guess Pitchfork is the good rating you want, or Anthony Fantano, or whatever you want, you know. But you're catering to these guys. You're not catering to hip-hop heads. You are catering to the hipster crowd, which is fine. You know where the dough is at. You know you've already got these clowns to fund your album 100%, right? So you don't have to fucking worry about putting any of your own cash into it. You probably make a little profit off that funding, and then after you're done with that, boom, now you're making 100% profit off your albums, $10 an album. You're a pretty big hip-hop group, hip-hop staple from the 90s that people love, and if you're getting that Pitchfork crowd, you might sell 10,000, you know? $10 an album, you're making 100 G's to split between you and the other dude, you know, the three of you. Yeah, that's not that much money. Let's say you do 20,000. Let's say you do 30,000 albums. That's $100,000 for you each. That's a pretty good payday. I could see you guys doing this again in the future. I could see other rappers doing this again in the future. I think De La Soul has been the most successful with this Kickstarter crap. I've seen other guys do Kickstarters really not deliver or not make the cut, not make their money. They needed to get to fund the album, such as like the Onyx and I think it was Onyx and Snow Goons or Onyx and MOP maybe. Yeah, so it's good to see something positive come from this, but at the same time, stop catering to Pitchfork to get a good review. Because I'd rather hear some hard hip hop or some, you know. I did like I think it was called The Grind 8. I did like that album. Thought that was pretty decent. This is, you know, I think on the same level. I think De La has a steady album. You know, they're consistent in their work, and I think De La Soul fans will really, really love this. Will I? No. This shit's whack. So if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5. I do like some cuts on it. I would listen to some individual tracks. I might even listen to it, you know, on a nice long road trip, you know, just to zone out, because this is kind of like one of those zone out albums, I think. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5. Just an average album for me. I probably won't come back to it very often, but I think for those Pitchfork guys, I think this is a 5 out of 5 for you. I think you'll really love this album. So it's kind of a double review. So if you look like this, but aren't this, then you give it a 5. But if you are this, and you don't look like this, then this is a 2.5. This is your boy Vega the Chosen, thecryptonline.com, HipHopHeads Podcast, saying peace. De La Soul, the Anonymous Nobody. 1.